Bring lots of people. I've been singing this song for more than 3 decades. When I first joined the Paul Winter Consort, I got to sing this song. It's been attributed to me, but I didn't write it. A great Brazilian composer, Ivan Lins, wrote this melody, and kind of by committee, we wrote new English words to the song. So it's in English, and there's a chorus, and it's in English, which the committee thought would make it easier for you to sing along. And we can do it in 2 languages like this. In a circle of friends. This means friends when you hook your fingers together. In a circle, this means circle of sound. Try that much. In a circle of friends. In a circle of sound. All our voices will blend when we touch common ground. Voices are calling round the earth. Music is rising in the sea. The spirit of morning fills the air, guiding my journey home. Where is the path beyond the forest? Where is the song I always knew? I remember it just around the bend. In the village, the music never ends. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. Somewhere is the melody we need. There is a certain harmony, even a rhythm in the trees, in the song that we've always known. As every road comes to its end, so every path must cross again. Now I'm returning to my heart, back to the song that is our own. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sound, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. morning fills the air, guiding my journey home. Where is the path beyond the forest? Where is the song I always knew? I remember it just around the bend. In the village, the music never ends. In a circle of friends, in a circle of sounds, all our voices will blend when we touch common ground. Let's do it again. Let's do it as a round. In a circle, in a circle, in a circle, in a circle, all our voices, when we touch common ground, common ground. I know we all have to roll our eyes and whisper to each other after somebody asks us to sing around together. Thank you. If you do it faster, it sounds like there's more people. I wonder if someone else, a young person with an interest in fire right here, that might, he's not paying attention, but could you do that? If you would like that, there's a... Yay, good job. Now just blow that one, not that one. Happy birthday. You get some wax, so that's no fun to get wax. We light a chalice with a flame at the commencement of our spiritual gatherings. You need some cold water? You okay? Sometimes even at business meetings, we light a chalice, and camps and conference centers and wherever you find UUs, you're likely to find a chalice or several. I know people who travel with chalices. I haven't quite ascended to that myself, but it's a symbol of our free faith, we say, our free search for faith, our free lack of faith, as some have put it, and it is symbolic of a great many things. On another Sunday, I can promise it will have an entirely different connotation. But for me today, it means that the earth is a being, the earth is a vessel, sailing on with a fire in its heart. The inside of the earth, someone told me, I believe it was on NPR, is virtually as hot as the sun. Now, if it's that hot on the inside, where are the flames on the outside? Well, on this cooling planet, we are that energy force of Earth, burning, oxidizing, green and blue and white when you see us from out in space, down here on the ground, fashioning from the Earth this whole spectrum of color, providing this mysterious and mystical balance of peace and health and justice that we might call spirit. I like this word, spirit, as you'll see. Wasn't that a good segue? Can we find number 347 in our gray hymn books? One of 2.5 songs I'm honored to have in this great book of ours. They made me older than I am, but most of the notes are right. And I like to start halfway through the song. You'll see. You can find me there. About halfway through the song comes the refrain, sort of, and we can start there. Oh, anybody need a book? If you just raise your hand, we're delivering some books if somebody would like one. Gather in attention. That was the last half of the song for anyone who wasn't paying attention. Now we're going to start at the beginning. Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame, witness the mystery of this hour, our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit, growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. One in front of me, which I do. I like to put a kid's song in a program because I'm like that. Kids' songs are sneaky. You can sing about all kinds of values in a kid's song, and you won't scare anybody because it's just a kid's song. You can sing about sharing and no one calls you a communist, like that. Well, I wonder if we got a few kids right close up front already. I know kids might come up front usually, and you could bring your big people with you, but I think kids, you can stay where you are with your big people today. And I'll just ask, is anybody in second grade going to be in second grade, going to go into second grade next? Used to be in second grade. It was a good year. I went to Whittier Elementary School and wrote this song with a bunch of kids in second grade who told me all about the rainforest. And they knew all about it. They told me about the animals in the rainforest. There's a lot of animals in the song. And they told me about the 4 levels of the rainforest, which I thought should go in the song, but I'd never heard that before. The 4 levels. 4. Some human made that up. The 4 levels. I like to say I think we were thrown out of the Garden of Eden for dividing it into separate fields of study, but that's another sermon. That was for the old folks. On the ground level, turtles and leopards and snakes live in the shelter the understory makes. The ground is so soft and the air is so clear, with 300 inches of rain every year. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life you sing, such a beautiful sound. Now does that sound like a participatory chorus to you? With 4 notes, oh, let the rain, you can sing it, feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life, sing me the song of life you sing, such a beautiful sound. And down in the ground, the worms and the ants nurture the roots of the flowering plants. And up in the canopy, life is a breeze. Orangutans swing from the limbs of the trees. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life, sing me the song of life you sing, such a beautiful sound. Now while some of us sing that part, we need some others of us to sing another part that goes, rain come down, rain come down. That's it. Rain come down, la la la. Rain come down, oh let the rain come down, feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life you sing, such a beautiful sound. And the third verse is high up above, where the toucans fly. Emergent treetops reach into the sky. There's more kinds of plants than anyone knows. Look out, there's a sloth hanging by her 3 toes. Oh, let the rain feed the thirsty ground. Rain come down, sing me the song of life you sing, such a beautiful sound. And about this point, rain come down. I like to put in the pop quiz. Rain come down. What were those 4 levels of the rainforest? Any kids know one of them? Don't give them all away. You know one of them? They went by fast. Well, there's the ground. The ground is a good level, sometimes called the forest floor. And the canopy, the umbrella of all the trees and all the stuff that likes to grow in the shade of the canopy is called the understory. And I would have made the underground a level too if it were up to me, but it wasn't. So the tallest, biggest old trees that stick up sometimes way above the canopy is called the emergent level, a whole different habitat. That's the 4 levels. And this is my musical memory device. There's the understory, the understory. If you got a low voice, be the understory. Goes up and down, understory. Or the ground level, you can be the ground level. The ground level, or the understory, or the ground level, canopy, ground level, canopy, find your level, canopy, the under, the canopy, the emergent, emergent, oh, there's the ground level, canopy, understory, and the ground level, canopy, the emergent, oh, there's the ground, emergent, and the chorus, oh, let the rain come down, feed the thirsty ground. Sing me the song of life you sing, such a beautiful sound. Oh, let the rain come down, feed that shows me is there's all this stuff going on all around us, up in the air, down in the ground, down in the water. All around us are all these things that are working together to keep us going. One word for that might be harmony. I like that because I'm a musician. The harmony of nature, we've heard that. Another word for it just might be peace. All things working together. So kids, I think I'm new here. Kids are going to go off and do something more interesting now. And thank you for being here with us. Any well-behaved, mature kids are welcome to stay, of course. On the day after what we now refer to as the attack on America, or know by its cryptic numerals 9/11, my garden yielded up corn and beans and cucumbers, eggplant, persistent and unjudgmental as the sun that follows a storm. This orchard and garden has often been my asylum, and I find rooting in the soil to be fitting response in troubled times. Blanketed by winter snows, it still has made a soothing labyrinth for a meditative walk. Now seasons of bloom and fruit have come and gone again, while the perpetrators, so long identified, still have haunted our collective soul. Immersed, though, in this lush and healing context, I find myself imagining the conversation I might have had with Osama bin Laden. I picture he could have been a farmer, a rich one, if given the chance. He'd probably see my abundance as the spoils of evil powers, or maybe I'd just be a peasant in the eyes of such an extraordinarily rich man turned international criminal. I dream we could talk about injustice and struggle for equality here in this sanctuary I've fashioned by my own hands. As the dog runs circles in your yard nearby, I would speak for nonviolence. He would have to educate me as to the oppression of his people, and no doubt make the case for revolution. Now, some may take offense at my attempt to even humanize such a monster. The most disturbing part to reconcile, I think, is that he at least saw himself as a deeply religious man. I offer no defense for his actions, but world leaders of all religions have long sent young people into battle to kill, convinced of their justification. And some previously obscure Muslim cult certainly holds no monopoly on vengeance as policy. Perhaps it's not to the hardened criminal blinded by hate that I speak. I imagine listening to the anger and the accusations of all the people he claims to represent here in my tranquil garden. Among apple, peach, and cherry trees, there would be enough beauty and serenity all about us to keep us engaged. In the company of swelling pumpkins or savoring a fresh tomato, we might talk of the horrors of war. Amid roses and fragrant herbs, we might consider what he could possibly hope to accomplish for his people through such violence. There is, I suppose, no real place for negotiation with the perpetrators of such crimes. Mr. bin Laden, or whoever it is like him, would argue that there's no negotiating with the evil US and the morally corrupt Western powers. Under the grape arbor, we might argue and disagree, and yet still be able to continue. But I'm afraid there might not be enough magic here, enough aura of harmony to keep our arguments constructive. It's not a large enough sanctuary to hold our dialogue in its energy field. One could easily run off in a fit of anger across the road past the picket fence fortresses of the middle class, out to the highway and the city, where bastions of excess and consumption are monuments to a society dangerously out of balance with itself and the earth. It will take a bigger garden, a larger and more inclusive sanctuary, where time is suspended for depth of reflection. I pray for that garden of all the earth, where all are included, between the quiet where one might speak and be heard, and the sustenance of food, fresh air, and natural systems, busy in their harmony of symphonic proportions. Only then might our dialogue really take root.
Join us for worship every Sunday at 10 a.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua, a welcoming congregation. We are located at 3024 Cooley Road, 4 miles west of South Main Street, Canandaigua, just north of the intersection with Routes 5 and 20. Look for the blue signs just before the turn. Your comments about this program or questions about the church are welcome at 585-396-1370 or at our website, www.canandaiguauu.org. Producer and editor, Daniel Brigham.